Previously on the Chronicles of One Life, our civilization expanded with villagers and trading to support our cause, before taking on the challenge of a woodland mansion, which tested our skills to acquire a totem of undying. But to achieve greatness, our nerves were further tested in the Nether, on our search for blaze rods. Welcome back to episode number 3, The Path to the End. We continued to push deeper into the Nether, and the landscape began to change. Large pillars rose from the netherrack ahead of us, a clear sign that a nether fortress was certainly nearby. But a fortress is never just a destination, it's a warning. This place is built on risk. Skeletons and wither skeletons patrol its halls. Piglins watch from the shadows. Gas drift overhead, and blazes, born of flame, waiting to strike without mercy. So as we encountered each mob, it felt as though the Nether itself was fighting back. Each encounter demanded patience and control. One mistake here could end everything, but we had prepared. Previously, we had got our totem of undying, but also a single potion of fire resistance in preparation. Our lifeline in a world made of lava gave us a fighting chance. Not invincibility, but confidence. So with weapons raised, potions at the ready, and slight confidence, we began to explore the fortress. And it certainly would be a maze of constant danger. Narrow corridors lined with lava, open bridges suspended over lava lakes, and mobs waiting for us at every single turn. But we pressed on, relatively unscathed and calculated. And it wouldn't be long, and we found what we came for. We needed at least 16 blaze rods, which would only drop from the blaze mob itself, and with a spawner in sight, we took aim and began to harvest our loot. This would provide enough to craft our Eyes of Ender to seek out the Stronghold, and enough to brew the potions that would keep us alive on the road ahead. When the final blaze fell, the fire died with it. I stepped forward and claimed each of the rewards. With blaze rods in hand, this was the next step in our journey to the end dimension. So all thanks to some careful planning and that single crucial potion, we did it. Every rod secured, no life lost. Our mission was a success. We just now had to make it home in one piece, to begin preparations for the next phase of our adventure. Now that we are back home, the world felt quieter, and that a pressure was lifted, although momentarily I guess. We're pushing to get to the end. Early in our world, and this might be a little unexpected for some of you, but a wise person once told me it's easier to lose a world early than once you've grown attached to it, and I've always remembered that. So now with a totem of undying in hand and some blaze rods, we can start to craft our Eyes of Ender. But they require more than fire and danger. Thankfully, we had already leveled up our cleric villager to the point of trading us Ender Pearls. This would mean avoiding any confrontation with Endermen for at least the time being, and allow us to craft our Eyes of Ender in relative safety. Preparation in hardcore is not really optional, it is survival. Our diamond armour was strong, our weapons sharp, and our bow enchanted. We would now brew some potions of slow falling for the risk of being thrown high into the sky by our next big challenge. Finally, we crafted some rockets, not for celebration, but for escape once we had found our wings to fly. We didn't have much gunpowder, but it would be enough to get us home. This would be one of our biggest tests of everything I had built so far. So the sun dipped below the horizon, and with it came a thought I couldn't ignore. This could be our last sunset of this world. Well, depending on how long it actually took me to find the stronghold, that is. In a hardcore world, every ending is final, and what lay ahead would demand everything: skill, preparation, and nerve. Because the end wasn't just a destination, it was a gateway to flight, and the only path to the dragon. To reach it, we needed guidance. This is why we need the Eyes of Ender. When thrown, they do not point north or south, they point to destiny. Each one drifting through the air, pulling us closer to the stronghold, hidden deep beneath the world. So the journey had begun. We followed the eyes across vast stretches of land, through open plains where the skies felt endless, across warm savannas, and even through swamps where the land sinks and visibly fades. Every throw narrowed the distance. Every step brought us closer to the fight that defines every hardcore world. The reason was clear. Beyond the stronghold lay the end. Beyond the end, Elytra. Wings that would change how this world is explored forever. And guarding them all, the dragon. But then something changed. The eyes no longer pulled us forward. Instead, they turned us back. The truth revealed itself in a quiet moment of realization. The stronghold wasn't ahead of us at all. It was behind us. It was actually beneath us. At the edge of a spruce forest, where the trees met the water, we stopped, and we began to dig. With a shovel in hand, we removed the dirt. Stone fell away, block by block, as we descended, knowing that somewhere beneath our feet lay the gateway to the end. There was many layers to dig down, and it kept going on forever, it felt like. But with each of those layers now going, the tension grew. This was no longer exploration, it was commitment. We went through stone, diorite, granite, even as far as deep slate. And then eventually, we found it. We dropped straight into a stronghold library. It was ancient, silent, and untouched. Knowledge carved into stone, shelves with books all around us, but always the sense of what is round the corner. But it had been waiting for us. So from there, the search intensified. Corridors twisted, rooms connected in unexpected ways, until finally we found what we'd came to look for. It was the end portal room, and it actually took us a lot shorter than really was expected, and a lot of rooms have remained unsearched. It was empty. Although silverfish did try and get the better of us, we tried not to rush and go all in. So we cleared the lava, removed any of our hazards, and cleaned a path back to the surface. This will allow us in the future to get here a little bit more effectively than the path we'd carved coming down initially. So preparation here wasn't cautious. It was survival and very well thought out, because we will need to improve this in a future episode. Only when everything was ready did we return. Standing at the edge of the portal, the air felt slightly heavier. This was the point of no return. No pause button, no second chances, and not a way back unless we defeated the dragon. So I placed the final eye, the portal ignited, and for a moment we stopped, because beyond that frame was the end. The dragon, and the fight that would decide whether this chronicle continues or ends right here. The world fell silent. No wind, no fire, no familiar sky around us now. Only some obsidian beneath my feet, and the void stretching endlessly in every direction. This was, and could be the end. This place doesn't welcome you, it watches. So carefully I bridged across to the island. One misplaced block here would mean the end of everything. No recovery, no second chance, just the void. Even totems don't work here. When my feet finally touched solid ground, the scale of it all became clear. The dragons circled above. Endermen were pacing. The obsidian pillars rose into the sky, and at their peaks, end crystals. Those crystals are the dragon's lifeline. As long as even one remains, the dragon cannot be defeated. They heal her, and they protect her. so they had to go. But the end has its own rules. Endermen do roam endlessly here, hostile, unpredictable and relentless, and if provoked, they will come after you. So looking at one for too long is enough to seal your fate, so this is why I came prepared. 4 simple structures, 2 blocks tall, and just enough space to stand beneath, using them as shelters to protect myself not just from the Enderman, but also from the Draken's fiery breath as well. Because in the end, survival isn't about strength, it's about control, and controlling what I could. From cover to cover, bow drawn, I picked my moment. Crystals shattered one by one, each explosion echoing across the island. And when the Endermen came, as they always do, I ducked beneath the platforms, letting their rage pass overhead. One mistake, or one misstep here, and things would certainly end. But, slowly and controllably, the sky began to change. Only one crystal remained, the final anchor keeping the dragon alive. I steadied my aim, the bowstring tightened, and the island fell quiet. This was it. With one last shot, the crystal shattered in a burst of light and sound. The dragon screaming. And the real battle was about to begin. Next time on the Chronicles of One Life. The crystals are gone. There's nowhere left to hide. The dragon will descend, and the fight for the world's future begins. Beyond the end, a new challenge awaits though. Ancient cities and the hunt for Elytra. But it won't be easy. Shulkers, Endermen, an endless void stand in our way of progress. This changes everything.